The soul of the country is found in the Brazilian Northeast, the legendary state of Bahia. One of the quadrilles of our culture, the history of Brazil literally begins with Bahia. Different heritages come together to give rise to a vibrant stage filled with music, dance, and traditions. The best thing about it is that they all relate very well. If Brazilians are known for being receptive and friendly, Bayans are our best example. As if that wasn't enough, Bahia has incredible beach, a rich history, and breathtaking natural landscapes. Music, dance, and culture in Salvador. Salvador, the state capital, has a lot of history. During the colonial period, the city was the capital of Brazil. The city center is decorated with 17th and 18th century architectures, a blend of European style with a local flair. Another important part of Brazilian heritage can be found here: Afro Brazilian culture, dance, music, and religion. It's almost impossible to walk in the corners of the city and not see our hair, the street performers, drums groups, capoeira wells, and other locals performance. Add to all that a gastronomy that includes seafood and elements of European cuisine, with an African touch, and will have a faithful portrait of Salvador.
Porto Seguro, the cradle of Brazil. In Porto Seguro, you will literally be where Brazil started. We refer to the first place where the Portuguese set foot on the Brazilian coast. The small colonial city still preserves many old historic buildings and, like Salvador, has its own music, food, and African culture. Praia do Forte. However, if you are a true fan of the beach, you cannot miss Praia do Forte, one of the most beautiful in the world. She has a small town with shops and restaurants. But the biggest attraction, of course, is the beach, full of coconut trees and crystal clear waters. When the tide is out, you can see the natural pools on the reefs. As long as you are there, there will be no worries.
Morro de Sao Paulo. Another wonderful place is Morro de Sao Paulo, one of the tourist favorites. Located north of the Isla de Tinjar, a tropical paradise where cars are not allowed. The shallow waters are perfect for those who like to relax. Dolphins can be swimming near the villa. For a paradisiacal view, go to Farol do Morro and enjoy the sunset.
Gastronomy. Brazilian gastronomy is a perfect reflection of the cultural mixture that shows the history of the territory. The typical cuisine of Brazilian receives the influence of the different ethnic groups that make it up culture, indigenous, African, and Portuguese, which gives it a great richness and variety. Younger fusions are added to the traditions that have arrived since colonial times, which incorporate Spanish, German, Italian, Arab, and Japanese customs, brought by immigrants to different regions of the country.
Sports. Visit any part of Brazil and the first thing that becomes clear is the passion of Brazilians for sports. Whether you're watching games, cheering for your country, or playing yourself, Brazilians find a way to connect with sports. It is deeply ingrained in culture, especially in coast cities like Rio de Janeiro, where sports are part of everyday life. We explore here the most popular sports in all of Brazil.
The soccer in Brazil is the most beloved sport, with almost everyone affiliated with a national team, at least to some degree. The biggest soccer teams in Brazil are Corinthians from Sao Paulo and Flamengo from Rio de Janeiro, and both have a large support group of loyal fans. Brazil have produced some of the best and most talented soccer players, including Pelé, Didi, and Ronaldinho, having been the only national team to win 5 FIFA World Cups titles. Brazil has ranked as one of the leading nations in soccer, and there are not only soccer fans in Brazil. From a very young age, soccer has been a hobby for Brazilians, and it's the most played sport in the country for both men and women.
Volleyball. While soccer is not going to lose its number one sport in the near future, the popularity bet is that volleyball holds a strong second place in the hearts of Brazilians when it comes to sports. Beach volleyball is particularly popular, especially in beach cities like Rio de Janeiro, Recife, and Fortaleza. It is the most played sport among women in Brazil, and both the men's and women's national teams are strong and both among the members of various world champions. Judo. Originally from Japan, judo is the most practiced martial art in Japan. Brazil home to many UFC champions like Anderson Silva who have judo training as a base among other common training techniques. Judo was recently caught in the sporting exploiting in Brazil when Rafael Silva, a Brazilian judoka, simultaneously won a gold medal for Brazil in the women's judo category and broke misconceptions associated with her race and social origin. His achievement and the media attention surrounding the sport as a result is destined to further popularize judo.
Surf. With a country that has approximately 7,000 kilometers of coastline, it is not surprising that one of the most popular sports in Brazil has something to do with the sea. Surfing is part of everyday life and embedded in culture, especially in coastal cities like Rio de Janeiro. Brazil has some great surf spots like Matinos in Paraná, Buxios in Rio de Janeiro, the impressive Fernando de Noronha, and Ubatuba in Sao Paulo.